Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Lover Jab here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What we're going to be doing today is a 30 PED Beefoid hunt. So I thought we'd do something different. We go take these Beefoids and see if we can't get some good loot. I know a lot of you guys were getting tired of the Aatrox stuff, so I figured we're going to go out here and we're going to see what happens. And actually, this isn't going to be a 30 PED hunt. This is going to be a, 30.95 PED hunt because I left some shrapnel on. So let's say it's a 31 PED hunt because I'm being lazy. I don't want to go back to the terminal. Anyways, what we're going to be talking about today, what I'm going to be talking about is something that probably is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I think we need to talk about it. Why you should not play Entropia Universe. So for all you people out there who are new to this or just coming to this video, Entropia Universe is a real cash economy game, which means every dollar that you spend in Entropia is worth something in real life. So that PED card right down here, if you see where my mouse is, it says 1.96 PEDs. That represents 19 US cents, okay? Not much, but it represents something, right? The armor I'm wearing, that represents about $20 to $30, maybe a little bit more. And the gun that I'm using represents another 10, okay? And when I say I'm doing a 30 PED hunt, what that means is I'm spending $3. So, crazy, right? It's a cool idea. It's a very unique idea. It's something you're not going to find anywhere else. So think about that. Just had to take a drink trying to write it in there. Anyways, so think about that, right? Everything is worth real money. It's a very cool concept, a very unique concept, something that you're not going to find in any other game, but it's a dangerous concept, okay? Because now what this means is that when you loot, right, when I'm shooting these mobs, I'm getting money back, I'm getting loot back, okay? That loot all has a value to it. It all has a USD value to it. And part of the problem with this is, for Mindark, the company who owns this game, to make money, the loot always needs to be lower in value than what I'm spending, because they need to make some money off of me, right? They need to be able to pay for servers, pay for the game and everything like that, and instead of paying a monthly subscription, ooh, that was a good loot, by the way, instead of paying a monthly subscription, I'm paying for it through basically what I spend. So the more I use the server, the more I pay. If I don't play at all, my account still exists. So that's amazing, right? I do love that fact. I don't have to pay a monthly subscription fee, okay? So it's not like WoW, where if I'm playing or not, I've got to pay a subscription fee. If I don't pay, I don't get to play. In Entropia Universe, even if you don't want to pay that fee, you can still play the game. Very cool, in my opinion. That's a very good concept. I really do like it. I'm one of the people that's a big fan of sort of, if you buy something, you own it. Entropia Universe goes a little bit more that way than most games that you see. Now, here's where the problem lies. The more you play this game, the more you've got to spend, okay? So this is a game where if you treat it like a traditional MMORPG and you decide to sort of no-life it and just go for all the skills, get all the skills, it's a very expensive. It can be a very expensive game. When you first start off, you're gonna put in $20, and it's gonna last you maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. It's gonna be great. But as you get more and more into the game, you're gonna be spending more and more money. Okay, it's gonna cost more and more, right? So where once you were depositing $5 a month, now you're doing $5 a week, then it's $5 a day, and I know people that are spending hundreds of dollars a day. They're spending a lot of money, right? Like, they work a job, they work a normal job, or maybe actually to spend $100 a day, they got to be doing pretty good in life. But they're spending way more than I think they should be, just because they get so addicted to the game, right? That's the thing with MMOs. You put all this time in to get these skills, and then you're like, well, I've got these skills, I need to use these skills. And with Entropia, it's a whole nother factor because you're putting in all that money, okay? It's the same concept of, like, in the U.S., we have college degrees that cost money. Everybody knows about this, right? In the U.S., our college degrees cost a lot. If I went to college and didn't use my degree, I'd feel like a complete, like, idiot, right? I'd be like, well, I spent all this money, and now I'm not using it. What the hell, Serial? What are you doing? It's the same with Entropia Universe. You're spending all this money to get these skills, and that same brain mechanism that says, hey, I just spent all this money, what am I doing, is going to be doing that to you. And because Entropia costs money, and it costs more and more money as you get more and more into the game, the more into the game you get, the more your brain's like, you spent all this money, just keep going. And it uses the same mechanisms that a lot of gambling, like casinos and areas do, okay? So I noticed that like a lot of the stuff that fires when I'm gambling and when I used to play Entropia Universe sort of goes at the same time, right? I don't deposit, I've never put any money into this game, I'm never going to withdraw any money from the game. So, what that means is, to me, it feels a little bit more like a game and a little bit more less of like a money sink, right? But I still have that fallacy of like, oh my god, I could be the next one to hit. There was a 400,000 PED loot recently. I could hit that. That's $40,000. That is not going to change my life, but it's going to make my life a little bit easier, right? It's going to get me a little bit closer to being able to retire. And I'm like, I could be the next person to do it. And every time I go out hunting, that's in my mind. A little bit. I'd be lying if I don't say that, right? And that's like that whole gambling mentality. Like, I go to the casino and I'm like, I'm gonna lose 20 bucks probably. And it's cheaper than if I went out to the bar, but at the same time, I'm like, but I could win a lot. Like, even when I'm down to that last, like, dollar, I put it into the slot machine because I'm not gonna be playing blackjack at that point. I'm like, well, we fucked up here. We're losing money. Let's go all in. Maybe I can just put that dollar in, I'll hit the jackpot and I'll get 10,000. It never happens. Never's happened. But there's always that fallacy. It's the same as like when you buy a lotto ticket, right? You know you're not going to be the one to win. You know you're not going to be the one to win, but you still buy it because in your mind you're like, I could win. And Entropia takes over those same mechanism. It makes you want to keep depositing and keep putting in money, even after you probably should stop. So that's one thing to consider. If you're addicted to gambling, if you don't like gambling, probably Entropia is not the game for you. Now, I always say it's more like poker than it's... Ooh, that was a good loot too. It's more like poker than it is like the slots, right? But you can play this game like slots, just like you can play poker like a slot machine. It's just, if you really want to, if you're smart about it, it's not a slot machine. It's like a poker game, right? But the house always wins. Mindark's the house. So think about that. When you're playing this game, you're playing the players, not Mindark. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I've got tons of videos on that. We're not going to go into that. The other thing about this game, right? So one of the big criticisms of it is the graphics, okay? These graphics, when they were released back in 2008, not too bad. Right now, not the best. Not the best graphics, okay? So a lot of people say, hey, if I'm going to put all this money in, why am I putting it into a game that looks like this? And I completely agree. The game does not look like it should, and it's probably not going to look like it should for a while, because a lot of people that play this game don't have the best computers, and they'd leave. Frankly, they just leave the game if the game upgraded. So they're not... Mindark has no incentive to make the game any better looking, okay? So keep that in mind. The graphics are probably going to stay like this. The other complaint I've heard that a lot of people talk about is the end game. This game is all about grinding, but Mindark, the people who made the game, they never really thought about an end game. They never really thought about, like, hey, what do players do when they get to max level? You just keep on skilling up to get, like, use better gear, hunt harder mobs, spend more money all at once, right? Because every time you skill up, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to use better gear. And that's a problem too, right? Like, your skills naturally are going to progress. And as you progress, unfortunately, it's going to get to be more and more expensive, not less and less expensive. Let's convert this real quick and keep going. So it's going to get to be more and more expensive as you play. So don't think of this as a game that you're going to actually get, your costs are going to get lower, your costs are getting higher. So that's another downside to it, right? And the other thing is, a lot of people are saying this is more of like a scam. Mindark's rigged the game so you can't win. Again, the house always wins. Just remember that, right? Like, your life's going to be a lot easier. But a lot of people complain that it takes advantage of gambling. It takes advantage of just a lot of these mechanisms that people have, right? A lot of these things that people have in their brain. I'm gonna head back and we're gonna total up this loot so we can see how much money we lost or made. But the big complaint everybody has is just the money, the fact that it's pay to win. Remember that. The game's pay to win. The graphics aren't going to be updated. And my third point that I wanted to make, just before we end the video, is that... Oh man, I forgot my third point. I was like, I had a really good third point. I just completely spaced on it. But yeah, my third point, I guess, is just that it's a game. Oh, here we go. It's a game with no end game. It's a game where you get higher and higher mobs that you can hunt, higher and higher like monsters. Like, this would be a monster mob right here. This is a Fifoid. There's higher and higher mobs that you can hunt, but there's no real end game. There's no real like you're not getting to this point where you can group up with everybody and kill this final beast or anything like that. It doesn't have your traditional end game like a World of Warcraft or a big MMORPG would have. A lot of this game is about grinding, so if you don't like grinding, this is going to be a very annoying game. This game has a lot of grinding to it, more so than even someone like me that actually used to like grinding can put up with. So I don't play to grind. I just play for fun, and everybody sort of has their own mission. It's like a normal MMORPG where you've got to come up with your own sort of mission, your own play style. But I like it because you can make this game your own. But anyways, I thought I'd give you guys sort of the few big detractors from this game and a few reasons why you should not play. Because I see so many people coming on and being like, okay, well, I'm going to play this game, I'm going to make money, and I just wanted to give a whole sort of, obviously I like the game, I play the game, so we're up 2 PEDs right now in the loot, so we're going to lose a little bit of money, but not too much. I like the game, I play the game, but there are some definite negatives to the game, and I'd be lying if I didn't come up with those, right? I don't want to be one of those people that just mindlessly shills something. I want to be able to give you guys a good idea for sort of why you should or shouldn't play the game. The community in this game is amazing. I love the community. I love the concept and everything like that. I love the fact that the economy here is actually real rather than a lot of these games where it just feels fake and forced. But there are some detractors. There's definitely some negatives, and you've always got to keep that in mind. If you're someone who's addicted to gambling, don't play this game. I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at this game and you were a gambling addict or you think you are, do not touch this game. Don't come near it, please, because it's probably not going to be good for you. I know I say the game's more like poker than gambling, but if you're addicted to gambling and you've ever played poker, you know those same mechanisms in your brain can get fired. So remember that. Second, if you're a graphics snob, if you like everything to be looking amazing, I get it, but this game isn't for you. And thirdly, if you want some end game, if you want to have some like final mission, some final story, Entropia doesn't have it. There's no story. There's a little story, but there's no real story to this game. There's no real like ending, right? It's just an ongoing thing where you just come on, you hunt monsters, and you see what you get as far as loot goes. And I think all of us are hoping for good loot, but we know it's never going to happen. It's the same concept as going to the casino. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. If you've got questions, if you think I missed something big, please let me know down below in the comments. And otherwise, until next time, peace.